please make sure to tune in 5:30 p.m. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is continuing from mentioning a group of signs, the heavens and the earth, and that which we ride, and we travel on, and a large number of signs and a large number of proofs for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's oneness, for the day of judgment, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's control, for His wisdom, for His knowledge. So He continues, He says, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, when it's said to them, i.e. the Quraysh, اتَّقُوا مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيكُمْ وَمَا خَلْفَكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. Fear, have taqwa, of that which is in front of you and behind you, so that you may be shown mercy, that mercy may come to you. Now, this has many different interpretations. So this could refer to the Quraysh in terms of all of the harm that they did to the Prophet ﷺ. So what was in front of them, and or behind them, and in front of them, what they were going to do to him. So fear what you did and what you are going to do. It can also refer to, i.e., before and after you, fear that which occurred to the previous generations. And this is nice because it kind of connects to the story of the village and the messengers that were sent to them and how they were destroyed. So fear what came before you, and death and the day of judgment, what's going to come after you. It can also mean fear what will come, what has come before, in terms of revelation and what will come afterwards. There are many different ways that the Mufassirun have given for this, but all of these connect to a call to the people of Quraysh to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to fear His punishment for their actions, to fear Him for all of that they have put forward or left behind, so that they may be shown mercy. وَمَا تَأْتِيهِم مِّنْ آيَةٍ مِّنْ آيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ إِلَّا كَانُوا عَنْهَا مُعْرِضِينَ. And no sign from the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from their Lord, reach them, come to them, except that they turn away from it, that they are turning away. Right? So no sign comes to them except that they are turning away. So every single time that a message, an ayah was revealed, that is an individual sign. It's an individual sign of the miraculousness of the Quran and a proof for the Prophet ﷺ's messengerhood. It also refers to all of the signs that we mentioned before, that all of those signs that they just saw and that are surrounding them, that they take for granted, they keep turning away. Right? And this could quite literally refer to the Quraysh turning away from the Prophet ﷺ, running away, right, with their heads high, or with their stuffing their fingers into their ears, trying to not hear the Quran, shouting over it, right, so that no one else could hear the Quran, right? So constantly turning away from the Quran, from the signs, and this could be a figurative turning away, or it could be a literal turning away, as I mentioned, right? So they could be quite listening to it directly, and still their hearts are turning away. They're not listening truly. They're not trying to benefit. They don't want it, even though they know it's true. يَعْرِفُونَهُمْ كَمَا يَعْرِفُونَ أَبْنَاءَهُمْ. They know you like they know their forefathers, like their parents. They knew that the Prophet ﷺ was a true messenger. They knew his character. They lived with him for 40 years before he claimed prophecy. So the figurative turning away is apparent in every one of those who did not become Muslim and did not accept the message. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ أَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقَكُمُ اللَّهُ قَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَنُطْعِمُ مَنْ لَوْ يَشَاءُ اللَّهُ أَطْعَمَهُ إِنْ أَنْتُمْ إِلَّا فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. And when it's said to them, spend from that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided you, those who just believe, say to the believers, should we feed and give in charity and food who, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala willed, He would feed him. In antum illa fi dhalal mubin. Truly, you are in clear misguidance. So this also has a bunch of different interpretations. The first is that they were actually a group of hypocrites in the early period, and they outwardly professed their Islam, but they were disbelievers, right? Or it could be that they had become Muslim, but they didn't truly believe it. Right? They didn't believe it. Now, we don't really have the phenomenon of many hypocrites in the early period because the Muslims were so weak, right? They had a lot to lose, right, to become Muslim. But it can refer to any at any time. This you know, we know that Surah Yasin is a Meccan surah, so the idea that there were Muslims who were actually hypocrites is not that strong. But regardless, it is that when they were commanded, right, to feed and to help the poor, they said, you know, should we feed that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of, by using their belief to get out of having to pay. It also more likely refers to the disbelievers when the Muslims or the Prophet ﷺ would call to them and say, feed the poor, right? Help and use that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. They would say in a mocking way, to the Prophet ﷺ, should we feed and help the ones that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala basically has made poor? If Allah wanted to heal them and give them food, He would do it. So why do we have to do it? Right? It can also be quite literally ignorance, in the case where there were those who, when they were commanded to feed, they said, well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put them into poverty. He made them hungry, so why should we feed them? They give an example of a man who he had a group of sheep, and he put the fat cows in the lush grounds to eat from, and the skinny cows in a barren land. Basically saying, Allah made these skinny, so I'm going to follow Allah's decree. Right? This is pure ignorance, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He of course is the one who gives hunger, and He gives satiation, He gives wealth, and He gives poverty. But he does that through the means of people. So he doesn't deny our responsibility, of course, and our responsibility to humanity. And on top of that, the benefits from charity are usually personal, right? They're not just communal for the person that is receiving it, but for ourselves, to prevent ourselves from loving the dunya, from being stingy, from all of those diseases of the hearts. So regardless, this is used as a mockery from those who were commanded to do good things, i.e., when they're commanded to help the poor or to do things, they say, Allah put this in Allah. You know, you actually see this a lot now with Palestine, where people will say, well, you know, where's Allah then? You know, if you know, it's kufr actually to say this. You leave Islam if you say this. But they'll say, you know, why does America have to stop? If Allah wanted, you know, He could just get rid of them. Why does what should we do if Allah wanted, He could stop the war right now, right? And they say for other things, you know, where are all the awliya? Where are all the dua? If the awliya truly had power and the dua was accepted, then why are we still in Gaza? These all come from a dark ignorance of the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He runs the world, and a misunderstanding of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has placed us in situations, and He is the best of planners. He knows the end results of things, and He has the plan. Right? So it's not up to us to decide that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He trials us for certain reasons, and for us to see our response, right? Because we are responsible, we are morally capable, and this is kind of a very egregious defiance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command in a mocking form, right? So the fact that we see this nowadays in modern realms of conversation, particularly, you know, considering the suffering in Gaza when there is clearly one perpetrator, there's clearly one enemy and one oppressor, is something very indicative of the moral depravity of our time. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to destroy the oppressors and to rid our brothers and sisters in Palestine and around the world from the evil and the harm that their oppressors are committing against them. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for tawfiq. So another, in reference to this, kind of a deeper understanding of this could be that the truth of taqwa, the true reality of fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is muraqabah, is to watch over one's actions. So in order to gain Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy, which is the opening of doors, the receiving wisdom and knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being able to witness the ghaib, or have a comfortable and easy life, something so simply as that, to have peace in one's life, any of the aspects of mercy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can provide us and put in our life, it returns to taqwa. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He always connects His blessings to taqwa. وَاتَّقُوا وَيُعَلِّمُكُمُ اللَّهُ. Fear Allah and Allah will teach you. Right? He will give you knowledge. Don't worry about it. So in this case, the way that one has taqwa is they look at everything before and after them. So before them, right, it could be in front of them, that every single thing that they're going to do, they look for, or what came before them. Every action that they did, they reflect on it. They do muhasabah, right? They do muhasabah, which is taking account, right? Taking account, a register of all of your actions, and that which you find to be praiseworthy, you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for it, and that which you find to be displeasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you seek His forgiveness. And muraqabah is that every single step that you take, every next motion, you're thinking about how, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with it, is it exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from me in this moment? And right, this is why Imam Shadili, or Ibn Mashish, Qutb ibn Mashish, when he gave advice to Imam Shadili, what did he say? He said, وَلَا تَمْشِي خُطْوَةً إِلَّا مِنْ حَيْثُ تَرْجُو ثَوَابَ اللَّهِ. And do not take a single step except to a place where you are hopeful that Allah will reward you for that step, that you'll find the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in it. So in this ayah is a lesson to all of us in our understanding of taqwa and how to gain the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as well as taking the means to helping the community and to giving from that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, and to not have a misconstrual of tawakkul and reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with our human individual responsibility to the community, to our family, and to those around us, and realizing that it is our giving and our help to the community and willfulness to do that is a manifestation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's decree in helping those people, right? So, you want to manifest Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's decree, manifest God's work, as they say, right? To do God's work, right? This is to act as if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is constantly watching you, because He is, right? If you do not see it, and then to do that which pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ala dawam, consistently and constantly. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put us and to make us of those who constantly please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who have taqwa, who do muraqabah and muhasabah of all of our actions, and to never deny Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's signs. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Please make sure to continue to support SALAM and all of the initiatives that they are giving to the community. Without your help, we cannot continue to offer these amazing programs. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.